first, I just wanted to go back to the etymology or the origin of the word mindfulness. And the reason why we do that is because it is on so many magazine covers and things now, that when you ask people what's mindfulness, they'll say things like, to be in the present moment, or to watch your breath. And those things are not incorrect. Let's just say they're not fully complete. And so when we go back to the origin of the word, mindfulness really means to remember, to recall, to remember. And so the question is, what are we trying to remember? And what we're trying to do is remember to be present. And so the object of mindfulness can be many, many different things. It could be your breath, it could be your body, but even though many of the techniques of mindfulness can be considered simple, what's more difficult, as we all know, is to remember to do it. And so that's why I wanted to go back to the original origin of the word. But in this science snack, what I wanted to do is just speak very briefly about the main scientific findings. So by now, it's about 30 years since people started doing research on mindfulness. There's a place in your participant journal where if you want to jot down any notes that are helpful to you, you can do that. So here I wanted to just point out some of the main findings. It's been shown now in study after study after study that mindfulness reduces a number of things: worry, stress, burnout, depression, anxiety, and even somatic complaints, or pains in the body, so to speak. That's a pretty nice list, isn't it? It also, in addition to reducing those things, not just in the short term, but in many cases, if you continue with the practice, 6 months, a year afterwards. So the effects are long lasting if you keep going with the practice. It also increases, a sense of the overall quality of one's life, including what they found is satisfaction, job satisfaction in our workplace. So when you hear those results, sometimes there's this notion that mindfulness is supposed to make us more comfy with the world, so to speak, more comfy with perhaps some of the unjust systems that we see in the world. But as we'll learn as we go through the emotional rescue method, and in the second and third steps, it's not meant to just reduce our stress. It's actually helps us to see more clearly the cause and effect that's at play in our lives. And what we're going to start to unpack today, why is that? Why is that creating a space or a mindful gap between yourself and your emotions leads to all of these positive effects? And what I'd like to suggest that the science says is that it creates a space between stimulus and response. When there's no space between stimulus and response, how we react to things that happen to us in our lives is from habit. Before we know it, we're already into the habit. So mindful gap opens up the possibility that we can respond to change with conscious intention rather than unconscious reactivity or unconscious habit.